After landing a commitment from four-star defensive back Jonte Gilbert this weekend, the Georgia Bulldogs now sit at 23 commitments in the 2025 class, with several more open spots available in this class that might push for the best recruiting class in the country. I'm going to talk about some of Georgia's remaining targets, the possibility of them maybe landing a commitment or two this month before the season starts. There's a lot going on. The Dogs are recruiting very well. Added another versatile playmaking defensive back yesterday with Gilbert, but several in-state guys still out there that Georgia is either recruiting, trying to flip, adding room for. There's a lot to talk about in this video, so I'm ready to jump in. The first guy I want to talk about is a young man named Chris Linton, 6'4", 215. He's the number 26 edge defender in the country. He's the number 37 player in Georgia and the number 257 overall prospect in the country. He is committed to Rutgers, but earned an offer from the Dogs recently, and now they are fully in play, right? And this is a four-star kid. This is not some, two-star sleeper guy that no one's been recruiting, right? He's been on Georgia's radar, was in town in June for a visit, was back in July, won the staff over, they offered, and I think they are in a good position to flip him. And again, he's a four-star, lean, athletic, 6'4", 215-pound edge defender, pass rusher, lived in the backfield last year, explosive off the snap. He can blow up a run, blow up a pass on any particular play, but he was really good if you go back and watch his film. The numbers that I found were just through 6 games. He had 9 tackles for a loss, a couple sacks, but if you watch the film, he flashes big playability and enough talent and awareness to make a lot of plays in the backfield. So he is definitely a guy I could see flipping to Georgia within the next 2 to 3 weeks. I don't think it's going to take him very long. He plays out of North Atlanta. Selfishly, I'm hoping he commits to Georgia because he plays at South Forsyth, at North Forsyth, so right in my area. So if this kid commits to Georgia, I will be getting several clips for y'all this fall. But he can get after the quarterback, and he's a guy to know. Now, before I move on to this next in-state linebacker to know, I got to mention collegebronze.com. That's where you can get the #1 Georgia Bulldog statue on the market today with a discount. Promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. That's the only place where you can get a discount on this bad boy right here. Order today. It's selling season. They're selling like crazy. Order yours today so you get it in time for Georgia and Clemson at the end of the month. So it's going to look great. You want him on your front porch throughout the entire season. Get yours today. All the information is in the description below in this video. Now, another 4-star. I think he's a 3-star. Just a 3-star, and that's okay, but he plays out of Marietta High School. Anthony Crua, 6'1", 215, 220. He's a linebacker for the Blue Devils at Marietta. He's currently committed to North Carolina. Now, his ranking isn't going to, really impress a lot of Georgia fans who are used to the 5-stars, the high 4-star linebackers coming in. He's the number 54 overall linebacker. He's the number 56 overall prospect in Georgia, and he's the number 508 overall prospect in the country. So just outside of the top 500 best players in America. But he's coming off a really productive junior season, 70 tackles, 10.5 tackles for a loss, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, 2 blocked field goals. This guy can make an impact all over the field. He chose North Carolina over Auburn originally. And with Georgia not getting Christian Gass, who is committed to Tennessee, losing a commitment from Jaden Berlotti, I think that relationship was kind of bending and breaking for a while. But he's committed to Southern Cal. So they only have 1 middle linebacker committed right now. The plan is to always take 2 or 3. It looks like it's just going to be 2. So they need 1 more to go with 5-star Zayden Walker. And Anthony Crua could be that guy. He's instinctive. He's tough. Hard-hitting defender who has his best football still ahead of him. That was a really nice pickup for North Carolina. But Georgia's in the mix. They've offered. They're pushing for a flip. I think they're pushing for a flip at least. He has been a guy that I've been told to keep a close eye on. So I'm telling you, 3-star linebacker at Marietta, currently committed to North Carolina, is a name to know who Georgia might try to flip hard in the coming weeks. At running back, they've got 1 on board, right? Bo Walker. But another one to keep an eye on from the state of Georgia, from Ocilla, Irwin County, I believe. Yeah, Irwin County. Shane Marshall, committed to Minnesota, 5'10", 195 pounds, breaks a lot of tackles. plays hard. Now, his ranking is not going to really get Georgia fans fired up. He's the number 106 prospect in Georgia, number 80 running back, but it doesn't matter, especially at running back. If there's a hole to run through, these guys are going to run through it. He brings deceptive speed for his size. He's not the biggest guy. He is listed at 5'10", 195, but on film he looks a little smaller than that, but he breaks tackles. He's a yards after contact guy. He gives it everything he has every run. I see why Minnesota likes him, and we'll see if Georgia pushes for him. They don't necessarily have to take a second running back in this class, but he's a guy that's on their radar. If it comes time where they have an extra spot in this class, they want to take it on this sleeper kind of running back, South Georgia, tough, gritty running back. I think he becomes a name to keep in the back of your head. So that's a running back option. They've got, again, one on board. If they take another, Shane Marshall could be that guy. Now, let's talk about the big names, okay? The big names. That's what y'all want to hear about. Justice Terry, Elijah Griffin, two five-star interior defensive linemen from the state, two of the best players in the country. I think both are ranked in the top 10 in the country. And again, they're from the Peach State. I mean, these are two guys that Georgia really needs to get. There's no reason why the Georgia Bulldogs can't land elite defensive linemen. They're pumping them out as well as any program out there right now. And I think both are still leaning Georgia's way. There's a lot of time to go. I think both won't make a final decision until around signing day. So we'll see what visits they end up taking this fall. I expect both of them to be at Georgia at least once, maybe twice, with a few other visits mixed in. But right now, I would be very surprised if Georgia does not land both of them. I really like where they sit with Justice Terry, and they've been in a favorable position with Elijah Griffin, an elite interior defensive lineman from Savannah. He's the higher ranked of the two. I think Georgia has done a very good job with him from the very beginning. He has been a priority since he was a freshman. He knows that. He's got a great connection with Trey Scott, Kirby Smart, the whole staff. I think Georgia's the team to beat for him. And again, Justice Terry out of Manchester High School, definitely a guy they have had on the commit list before, flipped to USC, opened things up. I think Georgia's the team to beat there. So, you know, I get the question all the time, how many, what's the number? How many guys will Georgia take? I've talked about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them right now. I'm still got another guy to talk about. So I think they're at 23 right now. I think the number's probably 26, 27. I mean, those two defensive linemen have a spot in this class if they want to jump on board. And I think they are looking for two more spots. Braxton Kyle, if for whatever reason they don't land Justice Terry and Elijah Griffin, Braxton Kyle is an underrated interior defensive lineman out of North Gwinnett High School that I think Georgia fans need to keep an eye on. So I think they recently offered him as like a plan C kind of D option. But if it comes to that, he's a guy to keep an eye on. But yeah, they're at 23. I think they need to take another two more defensive linemen, one linebacker, and maybe a wide receiver or a running back. So I could see 27, 28 as the number, but I don't even think the Georgia staff knows. Their job is to sign as many really, really good prospects as possible. And if they have a number in their mind right now, maybe it's 26, and then signing day rolls around and they feel better about a kid, in December than they do this second, they want to take it, then it could go to 28, so it's a flexible number. But CJ Wiley is a guy that I think they are still going to push for and recruit hard. He's one of the best wide receivers in the country, one of my favorite players in the state of Georgia. Shocked a lot of people when he committed to Florida State over LSU, where his dad played, over in-state Georgia, a team that most thought he would end up at. They did a great job of recruiting him, but he is committed to Florida State, but basically said, my recruitment's still open. I'm committed to Florida State right now. Georgia's not going to give up here. He is a big kid who can absolutely fly, great ball skills. He's going to put up gigantic numbers for Milton this year, but I think a flip is not probable, but I think it's possible, right? I'm not saying right now Georgia's going to flip him, but it wouldn't shock me if they really got back into the mix of this. If he sees Georgia air it out and these receivers right now catch the football, score some touchdowns this fall, I definitely think that he might want to open up his recruitment, before signing day. I don't think this is going to happen in the fall or over the next few weeks. If he does flip from Florida State, I think it'll be somewhat, like what KJ Bolden did after the season, final days where you have to make a decision and then go and roll. And so I think Georgia's going to push for a flip there hard over the next several months. We'll see if he makes it to Athens for a game or two this fall. I think he will, But that's something to keep an eye on, because if he wants to jump on board, they're gonna say, sure, come on. They're gonna welcome him with open arms. So he's got a spot in this class. I think Justice Terry, Elijah Griffin, again, I think are leaning Georgia's way. I think Georgia will land both of them. And we'll see if they flip Chris Linton or Anthony Crua. So two guys, in-state guys to keep to know about, along with Shane Marshall, running back from South Georgia. If they want to take another back, he's a guy to keep an eye on as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you learned something. Get your Georgia Bulldogs statue today. Do it today. Don't forget, promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. All the information is in the description below in this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the website.